Hi friends, welcome to my YouTube tutorial on building an image annotator using React.js. In this video, I will guide you through the process of creating an interactive image annotator that allows users to mark and annotate images using React.js. And by the end of this tutorial, you have a solid understanding on how to implement image annotation functionalities in your web applications. Whether you're a beginner or an experienced developer, this guide will help you grasp the fundamentals of building an image annotator with React.js. Also feel free to ask questions in the comment section and don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this. Now let's dive in and start building our very own image annotator using the power of React.js. Okay, here I just have some basic things set up. I have installed Tailwind, which I'm going to be using for styling. If you do not know how to install Tailwind, there's a link in the description that will guide you on that. Also, I've installed React, and also I have this component called upload images, which is this. So we'll be uploading images from our computer down here to annotate. So if you do not know how to upload image files from your computer, I have a video on that. It's linked in the card above. So I can select a file, an image file, and annotate. Well, it's not necessary that you need to upload image files from your computer. It's optional. You can just render images to annotate, whichever way you choose. Lastly, we're going to be using a library to annotate in the images, and it requires an older version of React. So most of the library using annotating images are kind of outdated. So they were used in older versions of React, but this is just two-step backwards. So I guess the latest version for React now is React 18.20. So we're going to be downgrading it to 16.13.0. Okay. Okay. So to downgrade this version, we just need to do some couple of things here. So first, I need to manually change this to 16.13.1. Now do the same thing for this one here too, right? The next this testing library, maybe I can adjust it to maybe 12.0.0. Same thing for this one here. Okay, now when I'm done with this, I just need to delete node modules folder and the package lock.json, not the package.json. Then next we can run npm install to download the new library. Okay, so now it's done installing the new version for React. It seems there's an error somewhere here, so let's inspect the page to see what the problem is. So it says error module build failed from node hub. Okay, so we need to change the this entry point in the index.js. So we need to change this, get rid of the client and just leave it to React though. So I'll just get rid of this client here and change this to React though. And I'll get and this Okay, so that's pretty much what we need to do here. Then lastly, we should just restart the server with this. Alright, so we're there now. The next thing we want to do is install the library for annotating the image, and which is called the React Image Annotation. So to do that, we just need to say here npm I dash dash save it, then React Image Annotation. The link to the documentation will be dropped in the description as well. Alright, now we're done installing that. Let's import the library. Import annotation, right, from React Image Annotation. Okay. Now there's some couple of functions I will be writing, more like basic functions for the annotation. So the onChange and the onSubmit functions, then I can render the annotation component below here. So first I want to create some states for that. So first I will have the annotation, then set annotation. Use state. The default state should just be an empty object. So this object will keep track of an annotation made on a particular image. Okay, the next thing I want to define is the annotations, right? So the annotations is going to keep track of all the annotation made for an image. So here I can say set annotations to be used states in default, just an empty array. Alright, so this array will store all the annotation objects here, and then I want to define two functions, two crucial functions I'll be needing, which are the onChange and the onSubmit function for annotation. So I can have something like this const onChange is equal to, so this function will take a parameter called new annotation. Okay, then here in this function I'll just do something simple. Here I will set the annotation to this new annotation, so whatever I'll be passing in the parameter. Okay, then the next thing I want to do is create the onSubmit function. So I can say const onSubmit. The onSubmit handles when you are done annotating and you want to save the annotation. Also, this is going to take that parameter of new annotation. Okay. Now inside this function, I will do some things. So first, I will destructure the geometry and data, then assign it to the new annotation. So the geometry and the data. The geometry are like the x and y, the b box for annotations, the width and the height of it, and the data is more like the labels and the text. So I'll be assigning this to the new annotation, right? Then by default I want to set annotation to an empty object first. Then next I want to declare a new variable called new annotation data. Now this is going to be an object, which at the end I'll be setting the annotations with this. So first, to take the geometry first, then next the data. The data will have some other informations. First, I'll spread the existing data. Then next, I want to assign an ID to it. So for easy tracking, I can say maths. You can just give this generate a random ID using maths.random, right? And that's all we need for the new annotation data. And finally, we set the annotations to the new annotation data. So you can have something like this: annotations, set annotations to new annotation data. Also, I want to spread the existing annotations here. So have something like this: annotations, like so. Alright, I think that's pretty much all we need here. Now the next thing we want to do is render the annotation components here. So which is what we imported in line 2. So here I can say, so here I'm going to wrap it in a div. Then here I can render the annotation like this. So this annotation comes with some props. First, such as the src, the image you want to have in the annotation, the value, the type. So first, to start with the image you want to have, which is the src. So I'll set the image to this image I have import from here. So this would be like my default image. So I can now say image 1. The next, on add an alternative text for the image. So I can say annotated image. The next is the annotations property. It should be annotations. Next is the value, what you are drawing at the moment. Now this should be annotation. The next is the type. The type you want to draw it. If you want to draw it in a square format or a circle format, or you can use whichever one you want, but the default type is the square format, which is what we're going to be using here. So I can say type is equal to annotation dot type. And here I can add the onChange and the onSubmit event. So first I'll add the onChange to be equal to onChange. Then onSubmit is equal to onSubmit. And lastly, allow touch. Okay, so this is pretty much what we need for now in the annotation components. So let's preview this on our web page and see how it's looking. So I'll refresh the page to see what. Okay, so I can annotate an image, I can write a description. Okay. Okay, this is looking good, but we just need to add some things here to make it look more better. First, I don't want this to be a static image. I want it to be dynamic, whereby I can select multiple images below and also I want to add an undo, redo, and some functionalities to make it look better. Okay, so first we are going to be adding images below here, which you can select to dynamically change the image here. So how we're going to do that? This is where the upload image component comes in. So we'll be uploading images from our computer and rendering it here to annotate. So like I said, if you do not know how to upload image files from your computer, there's a video link in the description and also in the card above. Alright, so in my upload images.js, I have this two variables here, the image files and images preview. So this images previews kind of stores the blob URL for all images I'll be uploading from my computer. So in order to use this, I need to use these images here. I need to render them here so I can use them here. So what we need to do is get rid of this here and put it in our root file, which is app.js, then pass it down as a prop to both annotator and this here. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, so I'll get rid of this for now. Then in my app.js, I can deploy it somewhere here and import new states from here. Okay, then here now I can now pass all this as prop to my annotator components, right? Here I can have something like this. All right, I've passed the image files and everything as prop here. Then in my annotator.js, I can now call the props using the structuring method like this image and get rid of this. Now, then I'm gonna pass this now as prop to the upload image component. So this is called prop reading. So here I can now do something similar. So like grab this and I can paste it here. Now I've passed the image files and all that as prop to this component. Now I can call it again using the structuring method right here in this file, like this. Okay, yeah. So it's called prop grid. Alright, so now I can use the images preview and image files to map through my images and render them here in the screen. Okay, so to map through them, I'll just create the div, right? Then here I can say images files dot map. Then here I'll get my file and index from this. Here I can create a div. Then I'll assign the index as key to the div. So key index should be the key. Then inside this div, I can now render the images. So I can say here and set the src to be images preview. This my src should be file.name. Alright. Oh, sorry, not my src. The alternative text. Okay. and let's see if that's working now. So here I can now select image files from my computer and select this, this, and this. Okay, so processing files, and so it's not looking good. So here, look at these are the images I uploaded from my computer. So I need to add some stylings to make them look more better. So first, you'll be given this div, the flex position. So I can say here, flex. Then also I want to give this a margin top of 4%. The next I want to give a flex wrap, so it's responsive in all screen sizes, and a gap of 4, and item center. Also I want to justify the contents to be in the center, and the margin bottom of 4. Okay, then next for the the image container, I want to give this, I want to style this to have a height of 70 pixels, right? Then for the image, I'll give it a height of 100% and width of 100 pixels. Lastly, a cursor pointer style. All right. Okay, this is looking much better now. Okay, so one thing I want to do here now is make this image dynamic. So when I click on any of this image, it should display here. Okay, but before that, I need to style this image here. Okay, so I need to styling. Okay, so first I want to give it a width of 100%. Then on medium screen, I want to give the width to be 400 pixels, right? Then a margin auto, so it's centered, and a cursor style of crosshair. So user knows he can annotate there. So this is the crosshair cursor. As you can see, the cursor now changed. When I get here, it changes back to this auto cursor style. Okay, so now the next thing we want to do is add a function that when I click on any of this image, it changes the default image. So here I just need to create a state for that and call this const selected image. And set selected image. So for the default states, I think I should just make this my default image. So by default, the image should be this. You can set anything as a default image based on your requirements. Now, next thing I want to do is create this function to say const undo image selection. Then here I want to pass index as a parameter. Then here I want to set the selected image to be this. So here I want to set the selected image to be the images preview, but I cannot render an array of images in just one page. So I need an index. So I can do something like this, images preview. Then the index should be the index for my parameter. All right. Now, when I call this function, here like this. Sorry, my bad. Okay. Then here I can pass the index from this map as a parameter. Then lastly, I'll change this source image here to selected image, right? This. Okay, so when I click on an image, you can see it changes the image dynamically. Alright, but they don't have the same height, so I need to do something here. So here I can set the height to be 300 pixels at least. Okay, now this is looking much better. So I can select any image of my choice. Now the next thing I want to do is add the undo and redo functionality, and also applying all annotations to all images. So here, annotate this part, say red color, and submit. Oh, right. Okay, seems there's a little problem here. Now, when I annotate an image, it applies the annotations to all image, which is something that you will not be okay with. So to fix that, we need to do some modifications. First, we need to set an image ID here. So in here, I can say image ID. So here I can set the image ID to be selected image. So any image that is being selected should be the ID for that particular data. All right. Then down here, I can now filter the annotations to only display annotations that match that particular image. Hope that makes sense. So we can have something like this: annotations.filter, then passing anno. All right. Then I can say here anno.data, data which we have up there, dot the image ID is equal to selected image. So it should only display annotations that match with the image ID. So I can, now when I annotate this, say head, and submit. Now when I go to other images, the annotations don't apply to them. It's just for this one alone. So I guess that's fix the error. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is create an undo, redo, and apply all annotations. So how the apply all annotations functionality work is for example, I have done so many annotations here, and I want the same annotation for all my images. So instead of annotating them one after the other, that function can just save me the stress. I just need to click on a button and it applies the annotations to any image I select. So first, let's go with the undo functionality first. So to create the undo functionality, we just need to do some certain things. First, we need to use ref to track the previous state. So here I can import use ref from React. Okay. Now I'll create two variables. First, I'll create const undo stack ref. This should be equal to use ref, and it's empty. Now as default state. Then next variable redo stack ref is equal to use ref, also empty at default. Okay, now the next thing we want to do is here in our onSubmit function, before we submit an annotation, we want to get the current annotation. So here we can say redo stack ref dot current is equal to an empty array, right? Now at the end, when the annotations are being saved, we want to do something similar. So here we can push the previous annotations into this stack, right? So you can have something like this. Let's push annotations. So here, what we're trying to do here is we are keeping track of the previous annotations made inside this array. We're stacking it here. Now, the next thing we can do is create the functions for the handle, undo, and handle redo. So here I can say const handle undo, right? Then here I can just do something similar. I can have a check and say if the undo stack ref dot current dot length is greater than 0, then you can do something like this: const last annotation is equal to undo stack ref dot current dot pop, then redo stack ref dot current dot push. Then here we want to put spread annotations, right? And finally, we can now set the annotations to last annotation. Okay. Then for the handle redo function, we can have the opposite of that. So here I can say, I can just grab this and change this to save time. So this should be redo stack ref at current. Okay, then I think this should be next annotation. Then here should save the next annotation. And here we should change this to redo. So it's just the opposite of what we did in the previous function. And here we should change this to undo. Okay. Now, the next thing we need to do is create these buttons. So somewhere here I can create a div and create a button for that. And I can set the type to button. Then since I need 3 buttons, I'm just gonna duplicate this 3 times. Okay. Now I'm gonna add some stylings to this. You can see here class name. First I want to give this a flex position, a cap of 4. I want to justify the contents to be at the center. I want to align the items also vertically to be at the center. Then I want to give this a margin top and bottom of 4. Right? Then this should be redo. This is going to be undo, and this is going to be apply. Or okay. I also want to style the button, so I can give this a class name, and here I can the button. I'm giving this a text color of white, then a background color of maybe sky blue. I can have something like 4C, yes, A and 3D, right? Then P, padding bottom and top of 2 pixels, and padding left and right. So then a border radius of maybe 5 pixels. Okay. Now I need these buttons to, the 3 buttons to have the same stylings. So I can just copy this class name and paste it in these 2 buttons, but I think that will make my code not dry. So what I'll do here is I'll get rid of this style here. Then here I can create my style object. So here I can have something like this. I can create a style component for buttons. Now here I can now call this like this style dot button. Then here I can paste it to here. So I think this way it makes the code more dry, and if I want to change the style from this button, I can just do it once here, and it applies to the 3 buttons. Okay. Now next is I'm adding the onClick functions to it. So this is undo redo, and this is undo undo. Alright. So here when I annotate and part of the image and select this, when I click on undo, it goes off, and I click on redo, it comes back. Okay. I think the undo should come before the redo, so I can just change the position of this. Okay. I can undo and I can redo. Now the next function we want to add is the apply all annotations function. So to do that, we can just do something similar. I think this is going to be more straightforward. So what we need to do is get the annotations, map through it, then set it as the new annotation. So we can have something like this. First, I can just say apply annotations to new image. It's equal to. Okay, so here okay, so here we can have a parameter, okay, previous annotation, right? To get a previous annotation from an image before applying it to a new image. Then I can now map through this previous annotation and render it as the new annotation to a new image. So I can do something like this. I can return the previous annotation dot map, right? And can give it value of annotation. So I can map through this. Then here I can get the geometry. I can set the geometry to be the annotation dot geometry. Okay. Then for the data, this is just like repeating the on submit process, but this time we are getting just the previous annotation and we are adding it to a new image. So here I can spread the annotation.data first. Then next ID maths.random to get a random ID. Then for the image ID, I can set it to be selected image. Okay. Now this is pretty much what we need for this function. Then I think we need another function to call this. Then there we can assign the annotations as a parameter for this. So here we can now say so I can say here apply annotations to selected image is equal to this. Okay. So here we can okay. So here I can now set this. I can call this function here and set the parameter to be annotations. But I think maybe we can store that in a variable. So I can say const annotations for new image is equal to apply annotations to new image. Oh, I think there's an error here. Okay, this is meant to be curly brackets. That's this. All right. So now I'm calling this function. Then I can assign annotation as the parameter for this. Okay. Then finally, I can set annotations to this. So I can now spread this variable here. Also, let's work at the brackets here too. I think that's all. Okay, and I think I need to also spread the annotations too. All right. That's all. Then finally, we can now call this function in our button. So here I can say on click this. All right. So let's select a file from our computer. We'll select this file, this, and this. Open, it's processing the files. Then I have this. What's one? Okay. Yeah. All right. So when I annotate this, say I call this the head, and I call this office chair. I call this maybe a picture. Okay. Now I want to repeat the same annotation for this image, I can just click on this and boom, it's here, the same label, and you can also apply that same annotations here. Now let's say I make a new annotation here and I call this maybe a text. Now if I want to apply this text annotation to this image and I click on here, it applies the whole annotations plus this. So far I think this is looking better and great. And the last thing I want to do is I want to customize this component. So the annotation, the box, the label, the borders, the highlights. It's not looking that good, so I want to customize it. And also I want to get rid of this thumbnail here. To get rid of this thumbnail here, I can just do something similar here. So here I can say render overlay. It's called overlay, so I can just set it to be null. That's empty. So here, gotten rid of that. Then next, I want to customize this box and the label, text, and everything, and also this input here to match with my design. Okay, so to customize the components, I just grab the code from documentation and explain it further. Okay, so here I'm gonna paste it here. Okay, so for the render selector, it's just pretty straightforward. We are calling the annotation props using the structuring method, and we are assigning it to the geometry. And here we can now style the box to red. So this box component is like the default component used in styling other things. So for the render selector, I can just pass this here. So I can say render selector is equal to this. Right. Now when I draw the annotation, see the border color is now red. Okay. Then next for the render highlights, this is this styling here. That's the highlights. So here we are setting the border color to be red or blue depending on the height of the geometry. So if I pass this here now, I go to this. Okay, now you can see it changes to red now. So depending on the height of an annotation, it's either red or blue. Right? Now next part is the render content. The render content is for the label text. So this text here, it's in a white background and it's in a text of white, right? So this render content is used in customizing it. So first we have in the geometry, and we are also changing the background color based on the height of the geometry. All right. So when I get this now and apply to the annotation, so when I say this is equal to this, and when I draw an annotation, so you can see here, its background color is red and the text is white. Here it's blue and the text is white. Right. Now the final part is the render editor. So the render editor is used for editing this little form here. So we have preferred choice. So
here we just have geometry, right? We are setting the prompt set annotation to the geometry. It's just pretty much the same as others. Then here we style the whole div, create an input and a button for that. So when I assign this render editor to the annotation components, it takes a different look. So here is this, and now this. Okay, so this is looking much better. So I'll link the documentation for this library in the description below, and also a link to my repository in the description. Okay, so let's select image files from our computer, and paste. So processing files, this my comments, bring in the annotation. Here I can apply the annotations here, right? I can also annotate a new thing here, and I can also undo, and I can redo. So that is it for this video. If you find it very helpful, please do well to like, share, and subscribe. And also, if you have some questions, you can ask them in the comment section, and I'll do my best to answer. All right. See you in my next video. Thank you.